Before I get to my prepared remarks, I'm reminded of the engagement we had when we launched the Border Management and Immigration Anti-Corruption Forum last year. And the comments that I made there, I think, have really foreshadowed what we've found through the SIU now, where I expressed my very deep concern about South Africa becoming a syndicate society, where things don't happen at a small scale or by accident, but that they actually are the product of very sophisticated syndicates. And I think that links exactly, as Mr. Legetho has said, with the focus on organized crime. And I think that's the lens that we should apply to this matter. The interim report that is presented today by the Special Investigating Unit is in fact a synopsis of the state of Home Affairs that this 7th administration inherited and is dealing with. Indeed, in terms of Proclamation 154 of 2024, issued by President Cyril Ramaphosa, the SIU was mandated to investigate serious maladministration in relation to visa issuance and related matters for the period between 12 October 2004 and 16 February 2024. In other words, what the SIU has presented to us today is the result of up to 20 years of maladministration, malfeasance. And if you look at some of the timelines that they've shared, you can see how far back some of this actually goes. Over the past 20 months, however, under this administration, the Government of National Unity has moved with urgency and focus to address the root causes of these decades of damage. Our goal is simple: to restore the rule of law in Home Affairs, and our strategy to achieve this is based on 3 key pillars. Number 1, to uncover and investigate fraud and corruption. Number 2, to enforce accountability on those responsible. And number 3, to use digital transformation to drive systemic reform that closes the scope for discretion, interference, and manipulation. In terms of Pillar 1, the SIU has indeed done invaluable work under this proclamation, which has shed light on the root causes of visa corruption to an extent we have never seen before. We believe in the expression that sunlight is the best disinfectant. What we need to all be clear about, fellow South Africans, is that this didn't start today. It is just the first time that we are seeing it in full color and fully exposed by the SIU. For the first time, the SIU has helped us, indeed, to shed light into the deepest and darkest crevices of these processes. By exposing both the alleged perpetrators and the systemic loopholes that enabled their manipulation, Home Affairs has now been empowered to take decisive action against perpetrators who have gotten away with misconduct for far too long. That is exactly what we are doing. Perhaps the single most extraordinary and important finding of the SIU's work, at least for me, is that the bulk of the malfeasance that we see presented here was allegedly committed by a very small handful of officials. Think about that for a moment. The numbers that the SIU shares, the instances that they share, the damage caused to our country and our processes were enabled by a small handful of people, relatively speaking, exploiting loopholes and the manual nature of visa processes for their own benefit. That is why I can today announce, firstly, that disciplinary processes against all implicated officials are underway. A total of 20 officials have already been dismissed since April last year. I will also be requesting the Director General to write to the Department of Public Service and Administration, as well as the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, to ensure that these former employees are flagged and that they are not re-employed elsewhere in the state while they undergo the criminal proceedings that the SIU has mentioned. Over the past 2 financial years, a total of 75 disciplinary cases have been completed, resulting in an additional 16 suspensions without pay and 22 written warnings. This work has also led to a number of referrals for criminal prosecution, and I would encourage the National Prosecuting Authority to prioritize these cases as part of our collective efforts to restore the rule of law. But we are also not stopping there. The SIU has handed over, I think, just under 100 specific visas where administrative action is underway for cancellation, but we are looking at a broader pool of over 2,000 visas to see what administrative action is required to deal with any fraudulently issued documentation. If the process takes us there, we will cancel those visas, and we will also ring-fence subsequent visas obtained by these same individuals to ensure that all irregularly obtained documents are cancelled and that perpetrators are deported or prosecuted as required. This brings us then to the third pillar of our strategy. As important as the first two are, exposure and accountability, it is only through the systemic reform, anchored in digital transformation and the use of modern technology, that we can definitively close the space for corruption. I think, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at each and every one of the SIU's systemic recommendations, that is how we are going to close the loopholes that people abuse to engage in these kind of criminality. Digital transformation is the apex priority of Home Affairs under the GNU, and we have made extraordinary progress on this front over the past 20 months. At the heart of our work to close the space for manipulation of visa processes, to deal with almost everything that the SIU has flagged, is the electronic travel authorization. As confirmed by the SIU, it is paper-based and manual processes that have long created space for crooked officials to overlook fraudulent documents or approve applications that do not meet the relevant regulatory requirements. We are moving now to shut down all of these manual processes and replace them with new cutting-edge digital systems that leave no space for discretion and manipulation. This is not a promise. This is something that is happening. Home Affairs already launched the first phase of the ETA ahead of the G20 leaders meeting last year. I can report today that to date, this system has already declined over 30,000 applications that did not meet the relevant requirements for tourist visas. I'm not sure if those would have been declined if it was still a manual process. The ETA has this power, this capability, because it uses machine learning to verify the authenticity of documents like passports. There are 40 different parameters that the ETA checks when you upload your passport. You literally take a photograph and upload it to the ETA when you apply. 40 different aspects of your passport is checked, and we can know if that is a fake document. And we want to expand that capability to every other document that applicants have to submit. The ETA also uses biometric technology to match an applicant's face to their passport photo, which means that they cannot enter South Africa using fraudulent documents. In other words, your passport has to be authentic if you're a tourist, the face on your passport has to match the face of the applicant, and when you arrive in South Africa, the face of the person entering the country is checked again to make sure that it matches the face of the applicant. These are new capabilities that Home Affairs did not have prior to 2024. Following the release of today's SIU report, there can no longer be any doubt that the ETA is the single most powerful tool we have ever developed to clamp down on visa fraud. But our challenge now is to scale it up with urgency. Working together with the Border Management Authority and the South African Revenue Service, we are currently expanding facial recognition capabilities to all international airports and to our busiest land ports of entry. Once this work is complete, we will scale up the ETA to become the central entry point, firstly, for all tourist visas to South Africa. This means that we will shut down all other tourist visa processing, including at South African missions abroad. And I'm sure the SIU can indicate some of the challenges that go along with that space. But we're also not stopping there. Once this is complete for tourist visas, we will further expand the ETA to additional visa categories, including things like student visas, which is one of the main areas that have been affected by this malfeasance. By moving all visa processing into the ETA, we are closing each and every one of the loopholes that were previously exploited to grant non-qualifying or fraudulent applications. Let me give you one example. You'll find that 15 applicants use the same bank statement to apply for a visa. They make a copy of the bank statement and they submit it 15 different times. It is very difficult, even for an honest official, to identify someone using the same bank statement. With machine learning and AI technology that we've built into the ETA, it will immediately block those applications because it can simply immediately spot that this is the same bank statement that has been used on multiple occasions. By the end of this administration, every visa to enter South Africa from every visa category must be processed only through the automated and biometrically secure technology of the ETA. I think DMDG and colleagues, we have no time to lose in rolling out this solution. Through the ETA, we will indeed be able to ensure that it is never again possible for a handful of officials to manipulate processes and cause such extraordinary damage to our country. The rollout of the ETA also links to our work to build an intelligent population register to anchor a new digital ID system, which will ensure that biometrics are recorded for every person in South Africa and that biometric verification is used to protect our citizenship and identity system. The SIU touched on some of these issues as it relates to passports, but the other one where photo swapping is a huge concern is the Green ID book. We still have 16 million of those Green ID books in use and in circulation, and it is only by rapidly replacing those documents with smart IDs, but also with digital ID technology that is all linked to your face in the same way that online banking operates, that we will be able to do away with the Green ID book so that it no longer becomes a source of identity theft and fraud committed by illegal immigrants. In driving all of these reforms, we must, however, not forget the importance of culture change. It's not only about technology. It is about using technology in new and better ways. That is why I do want to take a moment to also thank and acknowledge the many hardworking officials who have embraced Team Home Affairs and our vision to build a digital-first organization based on our core values of ethical conduct, courageous action, innovative thinking, caring interactions, and solutions-oriented approaches. In addition to restoring the rule of law, the reforms we are driving also serve to protect ethical officials from these syndicates. To the DG and his team, this moment truly must serve as a clarion call to all members of Team Home Affairs to once and for all turn our collective backs on the people who have brought shame to this organization over many years. Now is the time for us to stand up and be counted firstly as proud South Africans who are determined to restore ethical conduct in all that we do. Ladies and gentlemen, this work done in collaboration with the SIU has been a watershed moment in Home Affairs' quest to restore the rule of law. I extend my sincere appreciation to the President for having authorized this proclamation and to the SIU team for their partnership, professionalism, and unwavering commitment to rooting out corruption. We will continue this work with you all the way to its conclusion. Above all else, the SIU has confirmed and reinforced that our commitment to driving digital transformation in order to close the space for discretion and manipulation is not only the correct strategy to eliminate visa corruption, but that it is also an urgent national priority. Our resolve and commitment to not only holding accountable every single official involved in this malfeasance, but to building new, modern systems free from manipulation has never been stronger. It is in this 7th administration that we have the opportunity to chart a bold new course forward. We now know that our strategy is the right one and that we are moving with determination in the right direction. What remains is for us to accelerate implementation, to ensure that the next 20 years of Home Affairs is far better than the previous 20. We will not rest until that work is complete. I thank you.